So then what happened? I went sailing. One guy I met at a boarding school. He's like, I bought a boat. Do you want to come on this sailing trip with me for like 6 months? So sailing from Denmark to the Caribbean. My name is Gustav. I'm from Denmark. My favorite movie is... I really like Harry Potter. I know it's a bit like kind of basic answer, but I used to watch it in the Christmas time with my family. And it just became like this thing.
Yeah, it's a good memory.
I just loved it. So talking about like my earlier years, I would say, so I was born in Denmark. I grew up in a really like great family. Both my parents they came from farms, but they're really into business.
Mm-hmm.
And I always felt a bit different when I was a kid. Like I just didn't understand why, like going to school and this and that. I mean, I like school, but I remember the first time I thought about what I wanted to do was I wanted to start a business, and that was like when I was 6 years old. And I remember I bought my first stock when I was like 7, which was this like I had to get my dad to buy it. Like I found it in the news, like like some telecom. It's TDC in Denmark. And then started in school, and I had like I grew up in the forest, basically next to the forest, so I didn't know how to really speak until I was like 6 or 7. Like I would go to the speech therapist to teach me how to speak. But I think so I always felt a bit like odd, also because most people just want to go to school, get a job, and then like kind of get a family. But I just always had that vision of like I wanted to do something. Like I want to start a company with like it's almost like a pirate ship of people, and you just want to do something fucking insane. So then I went to Canada when I was like 15.
Canada, okay.
In Quebec, and then I was supposed to go to this English-speaking family, like really fancy family, but like 3 days before it got cancelled, and then I had to go up in the north of like really north Quebec, where they speak only French, and it was like kind of ghetto school. Before going to high school, I would say I was like kind of shy, didn't really know who I was, but like going to that year abroad, 1 year where I could completely redefine myself, and it was legit like a night and day difference in who I became as a person. So I came back after that year, after being like friends with all these kind of like thugs and like with the football team and everything, and I was just a completely different person. I came back to Denmark, and then I just felt like much more confident after that year. Got my first girlfriend. So yeah, went to high school. Then Wolf of Wall Street came out.
The movie?
Yeah, the movie, dude. And I'm sitting in the cinema with my parents, and I'm like, bro, this is the craziest shit I've ever seen. Like, that's what I want to do.
You mean
like starting a business? Like
starting a business, or
not the shady part, but like doing the business thing. I was like, I'm gonna become a investment banker. But I started to take school more serious after that, because I was like, if I want to become an investment banker, you need really good grades.
A degree.
Yeah. So I just became like this. I just studied all the time, and then I went into business school. I could feel like I didn't know. I first found out like at 27 that I had ADHD, but I think it was pretty clear before that. I could get by. I got good grades in high school, but then I went into the business thing, and it was so difficult because you have much longer. Like you have to write a 40-page paper and being concentrated for so long, and there's no like you don't have to meet into class. You can just come when you want. So that became much more hard, but I just really knew what I wanted. But then it just became so difficult that it took me 4 years to finish. Like one night I'm out, we've been going out a lot. And at that time I was just trying to figure out like how do I get rich? So I did all kind of weird things. So what I did was like I started playing poker, but I could just see, okay, that's not gonna be my future. I would sit on like 9 poker tables and play poker. I'm gonna do that to get out of my comfort zone, because you couldn't really get a job while you're in your
comfort zone.
Yeah. So I was thinking a lot about. I always thought about like whenever I had that feeling of like this scares me, okay, I gotta do it. If I'm afraid to talk to a girl, I gotta talk to her. If I'm afraid of something, I gotta
do it.
I gotta do it, because I think many people have an edge, but I think like if you don't even need to be the smartest. If you're just courageous, man. If you're courageous, you can do anything in your life. If you have the ability to go up and talk to people, most people can't do that. If you have the ability to say what you feel, and like if someone like is bullying or you say what you mean, like that's who I want to be. So I just wanted to get out of my comfort zone.
How did you come to Japan then?
So after then I finished my bachelor. After a long time, I went to the US to work in a startup. I started working in the like venture capital. the whole journey in the US was also crazy. I had really big, and I also had like a really big spiritual experience at that time. So then what happened? I went sailing. One guy I met at a boarding school, he's like, I bought a boat. Do you want to come on this sailing trip with me for like 6 months? So sailing from Denmark to the Caribbean. Like after sailing, I found out like before that, as you can hear, like I lived a pretty crazy lifestyle. And I would just like self-medicate a lot, also because I didn't know I had ADHD at the time. So I just found out like when I was after the sailing trip, I couldn't really go anywhere. I just had to stay alone with my thoughts and really reflect on who I wanted to be and what I wanted to do. And yeah, then I was like, it was New Year's Eve, and I'm standing in the water, and it was like full moon as like this New Year's Eve party, and it just felt like either I continue living like this crazy lifestyle, or I just like commit fully. But if I continue with this lifestyle, I'm gonna die at some point, because it's it was really crazy. You know? And I just went home, lived at my parents' house, and I just become like so focused. I would wake up at 4:30 every day. Like I would study, having 2 jobs, and I would do like food delivery, which is, by the way, the best job you can have, because food delivery, you get like 4 hours of exercise, you get paid for it. And then you can listen to books. So I would listen to maybe 20 hours of audiobooks every week, and I just started reading like thousands of hours, like so many books. And then I finished my master's degree, and then I was like, after that, I just decided like, okay, I'm gonna go to Japan, and then I'm gonna start a business in Japan. Sometimes I'm just like, what the fuck am I doing here? Like I was living a good life in Denmark. I was, with the 2 jobs and like I had a job in sales, Airbnb. I was investing, so I always loved investing. I've been investing, since I lost a lot of money.
6 years old.
But now I'm like I made like made a lot of money on stocks. But wait, what was my point? It's just like, I had so many times where I was just like, dude, why am I in Japan? Like what am I doing here? Like I'm what the fuck? Like
do you want to go back to Denmark, or
dude, like you have people, bro, you can come back and get a job in this like amazing job, 4 times your salary. I can do Airbnb. I'll make much more money. Like, what am I doing here? But I just
it's not worth it.
I don't know, man. Like sometimes I wonder, because it has its costs going abroad. Like you don't see your family, you'll miss out on your brother's, wedding and birthdays and all these sacrifices that you have to make if you want to do something great. And I'm not saying that I'm doing that, but like it just costs a lot. Relationships, even my like I had an ex-girlfriend coming here, and it's just if you just have to make so many sacrifices to do that. So I mean it's not only crazy things, but just ups and downs and this and that, like to get where I'm at. And what really have helped me has been like having great friends, and like my family has been always supportive. I mean, they always say like, why don't you just get a job? But and in that sense, like I don't know how supportive they are now more than before. But I think that's also the thing. If you want to be a successful entrepreneur, people will not understand you. And and for example, Vincent van Gogh, when he was writing, making his paintings, he never got success. And then first many years later, it became a big thing. And he would write like, one day people will see these paintings as more than just paint on a canvas. And maybe that's it's gonna be me, who knows, but at least I will live, like I'm gonna not stop, and I'm not gonna quit, and I'm gonna live to like full on. Like I'm gonna put everything out there and then see what happens, because you only have one life. And I still don't know if what I'm doing is the right thing, or like there's no blueprint.
Nobody knows if it's the right thing, right?
Dude.
You just only know when it ends.
100%. There's no blueprint, and it's also like, will it be worth it at the end? There's this book called How to Get Rich by Felix Dennis, and was one of the biggest publishers in the UK, and like hundreds of millions. And like at the end of the day, money is not gonna make you happy, and like most people would trade, when they're in their 50s, they would trade everything they have to go back to 30 again. So yeah, it's like, I think we glorify this entrepreneurship as well, and like making money and getting rich, but it has its cost, and you know that's a part of the game.